You're here on the planet with these abilities to connect with spirit in a way that most people don't get to. Is there something that you want to do with this connection to spirit?
Yes, I want others to experience life as I have. That God exists, that are amazing beings that have lived on this earth before are in spirit now, some assisting us personally through guides, and some just appearing before us when we need them. It's an amazing energy that it sounds impossible, it exists. The energy and spirit is with us all the time. You are never alone. You might feel alone because often when we come back into this world, we have to be in bodies that make us feel separate. When you are just energies, you are very close together and you feel one with everyone, but we are still one with everyone. We have separated because of our bodies. A body you create to carry you through this experience. And that's, I think I want everyone to know that you have this amazing assistant, a guide, a guardian angel. There's every name and you could think of, but and I've had this amazing being with me my whole life. I thought everyone did. I didn't realize that other people didn't experience what I was experiencing. And I remember when I was very young asking what his name was, because he never would give me a name. I felt that that wasn't important. Even though I felt his presence, he told me stories. It's it's what I experienced. And then when I was much older, I finally got a name, and he said his name was Isaiah, and that he was often written about and talked about, but that much of what was written about him wasn't what he truly was. That he's this amazing being, that he'd been a shepherd, a prophet, a teacher. Through everything in my life, he has always said, you can do it. You know how to do this. You are right in what you feel. And even if I wasn't right, it would be more like, well, do you want to think about that again? Perhaps you should look at this a different way. Perhaps you should not say anything. Like, it hasn't always been roses and perfection, but it never was negative. It always was loving and kind, and it wasn't that I had a terrible childhood and I needed to create this being. It's always there. I thought everybody had this. I was surprised when I tried to tell my mother what I saw in school, that everyone didn't see these energies over them, where there was conversation and words, and she was quite surprised that I saw these things, but that's what I saw. That's what I've always seen and been comfortable with. And I want everyone to know it.
So how does knowing this change a person's life? How do they incorporate this into their lives?
Well, for me, it's constant. I don't know how to not have it in my life. How would I explain it to somebody? I know that they say you have to ask for them to help you. So because I know of my guide and this being who has shown me, not his physical being, but lifetimes and experiences, I feel quite comfortable asking questions of him. I see him very often sitting on a grassy hill, and I imagine myself there with him asking. You have to ask for help. But even if you don't ask, they're there with you. They will give you hints and messages. People will say it's a little bird talking to me, or I just had this feeling, or I had this hunch. Well, your whole body is a receiver of energy. So they find ways in which to communicate with you. How do they help you? My goodness, they have stopped people from doing things. They've given people an insight into situations that they have never lived through anything like it, but all of a sudden they will say to me, well, I just had this feeling, this is what I had to do, and they followed it. So you don't have to actually have direct contact, but when you do, it's even easier. It's even easier.